friends, I am here to discuss the other part of stage performance and performance anxiety, because it is very important to know the various aspects of stage fright. In our day-to-day life, I mean, it is essential part of our professional activities. So, how to make ourselves a perfect speaker, that is very important. What can be done about stage fright? There are different strategies, methods and therapies for dealing with stage fright. Medication with beta blockers used most frequently. They decrease physiological symptoms, but not always the stress as it is felt. It can lead to flat playing. Relaxation techniques such as yoga, meditation, autogenously training. As yet, there is insufficient research data of good quality to make definite statement about the effectiveness of these techniques. Attitude and mental therapies such as the Alexander therapy, Menensdick, etc. There are indication that the use of Alexander technique leads to improvements in the musical and technical quality of the performance and a reduction of the experienced fear in stressful situations. However, concrete research data is lacking. Bio and neurofeedback in the shape of self-regulation of the heartbeat or brain waves by breathing techniques, mental exercises and visual feedback of the heart rhythm pattern of the brain activities. Among these is the heart math method and the alpha theta training by Igna and Gruzelia. Turf found a significant reduction of stage fright in the group that was trained with the heart math method. Igna and Gruzelia reported that the alpha theta training especially led to a better performance result. The integrated approach of Niemann, Pratt, Mugan biofeedback training consisted of the development of breathing awareness, muscle relaxation and performance coping imagery. This approach led to a significant decrease in music performance anxiety. The techniques have an immediate effect on reducing physical reactions and indirectly on the cognitive aspects of stress. Hypnotherapy, as I was sharing with you that how important it is to know about neuro-linguistic programming whenever we talk of the stage performance or performance anxiety. So, hypnotherapy is also a very important part of neuro-linguistic programming. Santon found a significant decrease in experienced anxiety among test subjects who received hypnotherapy. The research was based on self-evaluations. The students were not tested in a performance-in situation. Acceptance of the stress combined with positive self-talk. Code Jackson found a significant decrease in music performance anxiety among test subjects who made use of self-pep talk right before and during the performance compared to a similar group that did not do this. Realistic thinking, not making the event too big. You do not fail as a person after a performance that went less well. Letting go of delusion and grandeur. The audience is not your enemy. People will still like you even if you perform less for once. Much research has been done into the area of positive thinking. Many researchers conclude that especially the absence of negative thoughts prior to and during the performance is the explanatory factor for a decrease in anxiety. Considering that the cognitive component is the most important component in maintaining and worsening the stage fright, apparently the following strategy work well for musicians or any performers. Learning to accept that a certain measure of anxiety and making small mistakes during a public performance are normal. Learning to enjoy the performance instead of wondering what the audience will think the whole time. And encouraging yourself and focusing on realistic task-oriented thoughts. Practicing. Overlearning, sometimes this works and sometimes it does not. Excessive practicing can also increase anxiety. A better approach is the systematic variation of the performance conditions and gradually incorporating more conditions as in the concert situation. This is congruent with knowledge from kinetic research. Building a flexible movement scheme. A piece of performance or by the musician or by anyone, practice is overlearned. When the performer can perform it during distracting conditions such as interrupting noise, an audience and unpleasant feeling such as stage fright. Therefore, it is important to include conditions like this in the process of practicing. Visualization, imagining the performance, often in combination with a relaxation technique. Objective is that the performer is able to imagine the performance without experiencing anxiety. This appears especially to reduce cognitive anxiety. Countering distracting, destructive thought. By concentrating on the music and seeing one's role as performer and a mediator between the composer and the listener. Task concentration training aimed at a better division of the attention between the performer. The performance and the environment is a technique which allows the musician to focus more on the task instead on him or herself. Well, such performer, the students who is learning how to perform, who underwent this training, a significant effect on experienced stage fright. Psychotherapy. Behavioral therapy aimed at behavioral symptom, cognitive therapy explaining the problem, making it possible to talk about the problem, therapy that gives insight for underlying problems in the personality structure. Many training for dealing with a stage fright contain elements which are derived from behavioral therapy or cognitive therapy. Research into how insight providing therapies work into the deeper causes of stage fright does not exist. Insight into what drives you, wondering why it is you make presentation, how do you want to function as a speaker, what makes the subject special for you, what is your individuality without comparing your achievements to those of others, aspects that have to do with self-image and identity. The best way of learning how to deal with a stage fright is self-examination and taking charge of the measures that best fit you to combat anxiety. Well, the heart, very important to know the effects of arousal on cognitive function. The heart rhythm has a direct influence of the brain. As the heart rhythm pattern becomes more incoherent, that is irregular, very fast, the ability to concentrate decreases and negative thoughts about own abilities also increase. Controlling the system. By and large, the symptoms of stage fright are normal. Expected physiological reactions to stress, excitement or fear, but they prepare the performer for a physical response rather than a speaking engagement. The symptom won't keep you from giving an excellent presentation, but the stress response also is not doing much to help you until you learn to channel those physical reactions into a dynamic, energized, vigorous delivery. And this is very important. A person who wants to get expertise in a stage performance need to know all these. Recognize the stress as excitement. The physiological symptoms associated with public speaking are virtually the same as those you would experience if you rode a roller coaster, went on your first rafting trip, or got married. The heart palpitation, panting. The real difference is that you have learned to associate fright with being on a stage and fun with being on a roller coaster. The goal of a stage fright control is not to make the symptoms go away. The goal is to learn ways to make the adrenal rush work for you rather than against you. Use your large muscles. Those contracted muscles are waiting for you to throw a spear at a mastodon, and until you do, they can't relax. Walk briskly around the building a couple of times. Throw your arms around or punch at a nearby wall. Clench your fist, scowl, make ugly faces, and then relax. Those smaller muscles too. Focus on your back and neck muscles, stretching and rolling your head until they relax. Why such exercises are important? Just to relax your muscle, because when you are under stress, you are suffering from anxiety stress, all your muscles are stiff, and that gives you a nervous kind of temperament. Take deep breaths, that will give you oxygen from the diaphragm like this. Regulating the breath cycle is the most accessible technique for changing the body's kinesthetic state. Even if you have a headache, you can take a deep breath with a very cool mind, and you will find immediately that your headache is, nowhere. As you force yourself to take a deep breath, the oxygen carbon dioxide balance is restored, and the body interprets the big sign as an all clear signal. As the stress level begin to decline, so will the rest of the symptoms. Exaggerate your symptoms. The body will not automatically produce the symptoms that you are doing consciously. Start breathing rapidly on purpose. For example, you can then stop on purpose, but your body won't start up the automatic system again. This does not work for everything, of course. Most people can't sweat on purpose or increase their pulse rates, but you can shake your legs, blink rapidly, scowl, or do whatever other little things your body seems to want to do by itself. Watch what you eat. For many people, the most debilitating symptoms of stage fright are the consequences of the digestive system shutting down. Well, under stress, you may see that how your intake, I mean the wrong intake or your food that you have taken is going to disturb you. Advice varies from person to person, but there is certain, a list of the most common solution to the various problem. It is also said that you avoid milk. It creates phlegm, which is unpleasant and can be annoying while you speak. Speak flawless. Consistency should be there. So it is advised that keep yourself light and to avoid milk. Maintain sugar levels, because when speaking you are just diverting your energy. Because you are under stress, the body is using up its high energy sugar reserves, but you will not feel the normal hunger pangs. You have no desire to eat. The thought of food might even make you feel sick. But you nevertheless can begin to feel the effect of low blood sugar. Depression, anxiety, lack of concentration, forgetfulness, confusion, headache, body tremors, cold hand and feet. Well, all sounds stage fright symptoms. If you have, beware of this. And how to remove this? Well, these are the things that you can apply. Eat sensibly. You have to think of your body also. Protein increases energy and alertness, but takes a very long time to digest, about 12 hours. Fats will slow digestion even further. Eating a big T-bone before you speak is not going to help the situation a bit. You will just wind up with that lump of meat in your stomach, creating cramps or nausea. Carbohydrate, on the other hand, are comfort foods because they trigger the release of serotonin and are the best without protein, which lowers the levels of tryptophan, its amino acid and building block. Your best bet is to eat a low-fat meal of complex carbohydrates a couple of hours before the presentation. Pasta, pizza, bean or rice dishes are all good choices. Sugary cereals for breakfast is not. Avoid a sugar high. Often, when you are rushing around before a presentation, sitting down for a decent meal is the last thing on your mind. Be careful, though, that you don't substitute a quick candy bar. That sugar fix will make you feel better for a few moments, but the body uses the forms of energy almost immediately, leaving nothing for the presentation. What is more, overall blood sugar level drop even further after the candy's artificial peak. If you do need to snack, grab popcorn, pretzel, a banana, apple, sugar-free yogurt, etc. Avoid alcohol. That is very important. Avoid alcohol, nicotine and caffeine. All stimulate the adrenal glands and increase stress symptoms. On the other hand, if you are a smoker, this is probably not a good day to quit. Exercise. Most stage fright victims swear this is the best solution of all. Exercise. Not only does exercises reduce stress and help alleviate those large muscle contractions, it also produces endorphins. Regular exercise is best, of course, but even a workout the night before or morning of a big speech will help you to stay relaxed. Take your vitamins. If a stage fright is a long-term thing, consider the impact of some key vitamins like vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin B. Like vitamin C reduces the effects of overexertion. Do you know that? You must know that. And also one thing, that our body does not make vitamin C, so take it to reduce the effect of overexertion. Increases energy, stamina and general resistance to stress. If you catch colds frequently, you feel run down, you may not have the energy left for giving a speech, this is all going to help you. What? Vitamin C. Vitamin B used in large amounts when the body is under stress. Vitamin B is very, very helpful. So, used in large amount. Deficiencies can show up as tremors, loss of dexterity, lack of coordination, depression, insomnia. When you are very tired, this may also occur. Insomnia, forgetfulness, confusion, a quick temper and nervousness. If you are already under stress, the demands of a speech might push you over the edge. Calcium and magnesium in balance, these minerals act as a tranquilizer to the system. A calcium deficiency can create cramps and nerves. So, proper calcium should be there in your body. Get your rest. For many business people, the presentation is just the most stressful event in an already stressed life. If you are already functioning at the borderline, you might lack the energy reserves you need to face a presentation. Speeches are not something you only need to give once in a while. Your life in business will probably requires you to make presentations of one kind or another on a regular basis. If you are going to be successful, you simply must make sure that your body is ready for the challenge. Listen to your body. A final word of advice is in order, especially if a stage fright has suddenly appeared in someone who does not typically get stressed by public speaking. So, listen to your body. If you find yourself nervous about making a certain point or about showing the evidence you are using to support it, your body might be giving you signals to which you should be paying close attention, especially when there is a great deal of social pressure to conform. Our brains sometimes manage to ignore formation that would lead us to act in another way. A person who is pressured by colleagues to do something unethical, for instance, might forget to make a count or miss the meaning of an email. At the same time, though the information has been processed unconsciously and the body reacts. So, a headache appears or the person breaks out in hives. Stage fright can be a similar signal warning you that these words are not the right thing to say, that the time is not right to say them, or that this is the wrong audience to hear them. Well, these are certain things that you have to keep in mind. How to make a successful performer depends on your thinking, on your perception, and also on your knowledge. I'm sure that you will learn a lot whatever I have shared with you. It is not only how to prepare, how to speak, but what kind of food you are supposed to get, that I have also shared. You see, when we speak, we exert, and loss of energy, calories also there when you speak. So when you go for a stage performance, make sure that physically, mentally you are fit. Not only food, your thinking process also. As I have shared with you, exercises. Exercises is something that gives enough oxygen to your brain and improve your stamina. That is why exercise is very important, improving one's stamina. You go for this. You learn, you make practice, and as I said, that over practicing is something that is not going to help you. Practice with cool mind. Keep everything in your mind and then you recollect it. Because while you are giving your speech on the stage, not much time is left to think and speak. You have to speak very fast. So you have to prepare very well so as to deliver a speech, in a very cohesive manner. And as I said, consistency. Well, these are the important aspects of a stage performance, and I am sure that with these you are going to be a good orator, a stage performer. Wish you a good luck. Till then, goodbye. See you again. Thank you very much.